stream. I'm Brian. If you're new here, this is where MAGA comes to talk. And oh man, Biden is in full panic mode on everything because he's losing everything. This stunt with De Niro yesterday, with this De Niro ad, and of course, sending the cops there with De Niro. It's just total desperation. And with these never Trumpers, Democrats, fake news media, and all these snakes, what they don't understand is why is Trump so popular? They've been going after him since 2015, since they started spying on Trump Tower during the first campaign. Sorry, guys, my cat allergies are getting to me this morning. And they've had 9 years of just slanderous story after story, fake scandal after fake scandal. Not only has none of it hurt him, he's more popular than ever. And I was watching some of the Jean Pierre press conference from yesterday, and you could just see it in Jean Pierre's face. They don't know what's happened. They just don't know what has happened here. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. My next stream, I'm going to get into a lot of the De Niro stuff, the fallout of the De Niro. I'm going to play the De Niro ad. We'll go through it. We'll break it down. We'll discuss it. Robert De Niro is just, if this were like the 80s or even the 90s, Robert De Niro would still have a little bit of star power. But when is the last time you saw a Robert De Niro movie that was new for the first time? Can you remember that you liked? And that's they've here you've got Robert De Niro, who has been considered one of the great American actors, and he's going out like a loser because of Joe Biden and because the American people, and not just the American people, the New York people. He was run out of New York City yesterday. We've thought that New York City was this blue place, and New York City MAGA, there's a lot of them. They ran De Niro out of the city. So the Bidens and all of these people, they just don't understand it. You would think they would say to themselves, okay, he's only got one term left. Let's just stop the humiliation. Let's stop the embarrassment. He has his 4 years, and then he'll be retired. And yeah, I'm still waking up, guys. I got to catch up on my coffee. Thankfully, it's Wednesday already. But they can't say that to themselves because all these people care about is power. And what Donald Trump represents to them is they're not in power. They're not in power. Now, I will say this. The southern border hasn't been in the news for a while, and it's not like that invasion has slowed down, huh? No, they probably sped it up because the clock is ticking to the return of Trump. Yeah. Yeah, New York belongs to De Niro. That's right. He thinks it's his city. My city. My city. Was that some line out of his movie? You know what that when he was talking about my city, you know what it reminded me of? It sounded like they took some lines from Al Pacino from City Hall. City Hall is a movie that Pacino did where he was the mayor of New York. John Cusack was in it as the deputy mayor. And I could have swore when De Niro was talking, it was a rehash of Pacino lines from City Hall. I could be wrong because he talks a lot about his city in that movie. They were getting ready to sleep and the notifications worked. Well, I've been up since about 1:45. I finished all my show prep for the radio show this morning, and I was afraid I was going to fall back asleep, so I thought I would live stream. So it's keeping both of us awake. Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama. That's right. Oh, they got nothing. They've got nothing. The closing arguments are pathetic. I mean, they. It was nothing. They've got nothing. why did they bring this to trial? Why did they think they had something? They had to know how weak their case was. Is it just Trump derangement syndrome blinded the prosecutors from the weakness of their case? Do they think that because it's New York, no matter what, the jury will convict? Or is it just the judge is corrupt and they figure they could get a conviction that way? I don't know. I don't know. I would say, what do you think the verdict will be? Not what you want it to be. Guilty, not guilty, or hung jury? Guilty, not guilty, or hung jury? What would be your guess? You can let me know in the chat if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, let me know in the comments. Guilty, not guilty, hung jury. Not what you want, what you think the verdict will be. Not guilty, not guilty. Not what you want, what you think it'll be. The odds-on favorite from everyone is hung jury. I'm hoping for not guilty. That would be beautiful. He's not going to plead anything down. He'll go to the appeals court to get it tossed. He's not going to make a he's not going to make a plea agreement, Donald Trump. A plea deal involves a guilty plea. Well, people are saying not guilty. Man, that would be beautiful. Could you imagine CNN and MSNBC live with a not guilty verdict? Could you imagine? Oh, it'll be beautiful. Beautiful. They'll completely lose it on the air. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I live stream every day. On my next stream, which is just a little less than 3 hours away, I'll be taking live calls. So if you're watching somewhere around the world, you can call me right here on YouTube on the next stream. The toll-free number is in the chat. It's already up there. The chat's already up there for the next stream. There has to be one honest juror? Absolutely. There's got to be, I mean, when you've seen how active MAGA has been in New York lately, you would think there'd be more than one juror that goes not guilty, wouldn't you? I mean, we've seen it. Being a Republican, being MAGA in New York, that's like the new normal, right? Seems that way to me. No doubt about it. It's another hot one in Florida. Let's see here. Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, expect a high of 96 degrees.
All right, it's 79 right now with a high of 96. This time yesterday when I was live streaming, I was sweating. I'm not sweating today. Homer, Alaska, welcome. It only takes one juror. That is exactly right. But it takes 12 to acquit. That acquittal would be nice. It would definitely be nice. There's no getting around it. I mean, there was no case. And those of us that are saying not guilty, we're not saying not guilty just because we love Trump. We're saying not guilty. There was no evidence of any wrongdoing. I mean, how many of you have signed NDAs? I've signed non-disclosure agreements. And you just sign them. I've never been paid to sign one, but employers require that all the time. I've known many people that have had to sign non-disclosure agreements for their job. I've had to sign them. I gave a deposition once. They asked me to sign a non-disclosure agreement when I gave a deposition in a case once. Let's see, what else did I sign a non-disclosure for? I've signed non-disclosures when I've met with advertisers for the radio station who, it was so bizarre. Like they thought they had like the secrets to something, some invention or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. Non-disclosure agreements, you just, you sign them. Who cares? Everybody signs them. I've only known one person who refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Who cares? You sign them. What's the big deal? Yeah, make sure you like the video. And so far as this NDA for Stormy Daniels, I mean, Michael Cohen did that. Right? It wasn't Trump. It was Michael Cohen. He did everything on his own. And the Inquirer guy said that Trump didn't even know about it. Oh, the car alarm was the best. Whoever that guy was with the car alarm should be like the keynote speaker at CPAC. Oh yeah, or on stage with Trump at the next rally. Would you like to see that? The car alarm person. But I was talking about this on my podcast last night. The guy with the car alarm. Those New York MAGA people are new MAGA, and it really shows you how the MAGA movement has grown into areas that we just didn't think we had a place, which like New York City. I mean, New York MAGA ran Robert De Niro off. Think about that. How long has there been New York MAGA? Not very long, right? It's like these are newly red-pilled people, and look at how they are. Look at the numbers that they have. Yeah, Trump will be there. The deliberations could end at any moment. When it gets to the jury, it could end in an hour. So they have all got to be standing by to be at the courthouse probably within an hour. Oh boy, I got to wake up. No, there'll be no verdict today. They're saying we could have a verdict by Friday, but there's no court on Wednesdays, right? So there should be. They should have court straight through the weekend and everything. The jurors have to be sick of it. Maybe. I mean, the jurors, they may be as sick of what the prosecution is doing as we are, that are looking forward to ending the lawfare. Or they could be Democrat sociopaths who enjoy having this power over a president, too. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out. Does Trump look worried? I don't think so. If Trump's not worried, why should we worry? Now, if you'd like to support my channel and my content, of course, you could become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of this and every one of my videos. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to exclusive content, including commercial-free editions of my podcast. So if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter and support my content that way, just look at the link in the video description, all right? Yeah, Pacino, that's a great actor. I don't know. Pacino, he's all right. Robert De Niro doesn't have, Pacino too, but especially De Niro, doesn't have a lot of range. I mean, he's basically played the same character in how many movies, right? He's played some wise guy, gangster, over and over again. He's been good, Casino. His best role, his best movie is one that people don't talk about too much. The King of Comedy. He was very good in The King of Comedy. No, I do not watch Ben Shapiro. Not a big fan of Shapiro's. Although I agree with Ben Shapiro on Israel. He's right about Israel. Michael, $10 super chat. Thank you. Dana Perino brought up the late Bob Beckel, who worked on Mondale's campaign. Dana said she used to tell her campaign typically saw writing on the wall. Wait. Lost it on the scroll. It was over after Memorial Day. Polls haven't moved. Yeah, that's a good point that she made. I forgot about Bob Beckel. Bob Beckel, his life was saved by Eric Bolling. Beckel was choking on a chicken bone at a Fox News party, and Eric Bolling gave him the Heimlich. Yeah, Bob Beckel. Bob Beckel was a liberal Democrat, but he wouldn't be supporting this liberalism of today. There's no way. He was a old school, more reasonable Democrat. Bob Beckel. He used to be on the 5 on Fox, and it looked like he was a little hungover from lunchtime martinis every day. I look like Philip Seymour Hoffman a little bit. Well, I hope I don't look like him now. Really, or any point in his life. He was to look like Philip Seymour Hoffman at any point in his life. Now, that was a talented actor, unlike De Niro, with lots of range. There is court today. Okay. Judge's jury instructions that it will be turned over to the jury to... Okay, so they will have court today. Philip Seymour Hoffman is dead. He's been dead for years. He died. Philip Seymour Hoffman died when he was before they finished the Hunger Games movie he was in. That's why they end that movie with a letter that Katniss has from him because he died. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yep, now that Philip Seymour Hoffman was a talented actor with lots of range. Robert De Niro, not a lot of range. Although, if you have you ever seen The King of Comedy? Oh my goodness, he was so good in that movie. It was Robert De Niro, Jerry Lewis, Sandra Bernhard. It is a very, very funny movie, and Robert De Niro is spectacular in it. But I could count on one hand the De Niro movies that I like. I like King of Comedy, Heat, and Casino. That's about it. I can't think of much else. Am I talking to my car keys? No, this is my DJI mic. But since it's about it's 3:18 a.m. I'm on my back porch. I don't want to talk too loud and be loud in my neighborhood. Latinos for Trump 2024. That's right. Well, Anna Navarro says that Latinos that support Trump have some kind of mental problem. Anna Navarro speaks for all Hispanics, of course. You've lost respect for almost all actors. Well, most actors are stupid people. They're not educated, you know. That's just the way it is. There are exceptions. Dennis Quaid, if you've seen him this recently, he's awesome. But most actors are just uneducated, stupid people, right? You know, they do have a talent to act, most of them, and they're good-looking people, so they become famous and everything. And people think they're commanding and brilliant because they memorize words written by educated people. But most actors, when they go off script and talk on their own, they don't sound too smart. But I do still stick with, I think Robert De Niro was reading a monologue that was slightly rewritten from Al Pacino in City Hall. Because I just recently saw City Hall again. It's maybe a 30-year-old movie with Pacino, where he's the mayor of New York. I just recently saw it. My cat is chasing a lizard around the back porch. We have lizards in Florida. So she is up having a good time. She's trying to get climbing the wall. You almost got him, Luna. She's very excited. She's all peppy. She wants that lizard. What are you going to do when you catch him? What are you going to do, Luna? But, yeah, I mean, look at, talking about stupid actors. Look at, what's her name? Is it Jenna Ortega? The girl that plays Friday in the Addams Family or whatever that, show that is on Netflix. She's out there attacking Israel, supporting Gaza. I mean, could she even find them on a map that was unlabeled or labeled for that matter? All of a sudden she's got opinions on Middle Eastern conflicts. The lizard's too far, it's way up at the top of the wall. She won't get to it. Yeah, I mean, she sounds stupid. She has no idea what she's talking about. I mean, these Palestinian terrorists flew into Israel on ultralight airplanes, raped and murdered Israeli women, murdered Israeli men and children, and then kidnapped a bunch of Israeli women to take back as sex slaves. And you have this idiot actress and these liberals and these college kids supporting the Palestinian terrorists. This is nuts. It's nuts. It's completely insane. Oh, I support Israel, no doubt about it. I mean, Israel was attacked, and that barbaric attack was an attack like we haven't seen. Mm-hmm. That is very true, Dutch. Do you think the negative efforts to curtail communism reveal the negative efforts of communism itself? That's too deep at this hour of the morning. Yeah. Communists aren't even communist. You know, if you go to Cuba at the height of Castro's reign, for example, Castro and all the communist leaders have beach houses in Cuba. You know, so it was the same thing in the Soviet Union. You go to North Korea or China, the elite in these communist countries live like kings. So they even look at Bernie Sanders. He's a communist. Does he? He's a multi-billionaire with multiple homes. Look at AOC. She's a communist. Does she live like a communist? I don't think so. So the communists don't even support communism. It's just a marketing tool, you know, that they use to try to get rich. Yeah, that's right, Matthew. Yeah, a Rhodes Scholar specializing in geopolitical issues. Please. They said she was a terror on the set of that Friday show. That she's a terror on the set, very bossy, gets in arguments with writers and directors like she understands these things. We don't have to help others. I mean, we have to first take care of ourselves. They're narcissists. Narcissism is the biggest problem in America. There's a lot of problems in America. You know, there was an article in the New York Post over the Memorial Day weekend about a lot of depression among young people. And what they were saying is that the media, the left, the Democrats have taken away from young people something to care about in this country. All they do is teach them to hate America. They have no patriotism. They have no love of country. So they're clinically depressed. They have nothing to live for. They have nothing to stand up for, nothing to be proud of. You know, there's a story today. It's a story here in Florida, not my part of Florida. It's over on the Gulf Coast, Gulf of Mexico coast. Did you see the story about the girl in her 20s that was having sex with a guy on a pier? And the police came and she jumped into the ocean off the pier to try to escape the police. Have you seen this? It's all over. I don't know why that story's the national news. But to me, the news story isn't the sex on the pier or the girl jumped in the ocean. It's that two people in their early 20s are having heterosexual sex. That's an almost unheard of thing these days, isn't it? That should be the headline. 20-something man and woman having heterosexual sex. Breaking news. Exactly. That's what I thought when I saw the story. Maybe that's why it's in the press. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, in this country, because of everything they've done with all the gender and everything, the birth rate and the death rate are about equal. About equal. The death rate and the birth rate in America are about equal. And we have this southern border invasion that's going on. Well, thank you, Eric. You'll enjoy this channel. My next stream will be in about 2.5 hours, and then I'll be taking live calls. So you can check that out. But, you know, if your birth rate and death rate are the same, which they're about the same, the birth rate's slightly higher, but very low, very barely, and you have this massive invasion going on at the southern border, what's happening to our country? That's where the replacement theory comes in. It's just happening. And, you know, it's a reality. It's not a theory. It's a reality. It's what we're living through. It's what we're seeing. It's happening right now, right before our eyes. And that's not a good thing. We need more people in their 20s having sex on piers. I'm going to talk about that on the next stream. We need as many young heterosexual people in their 20s having sex on beaches and in piers as possible. We need more pregnancies. Politicians care about making money. That's what politicians care about. Hamburger in Paradise, great song, absolutely. That's absolutely right. I mean, should we be arresting people in their 20s for having heterosexual sex? No, I don't think so. The police need to tell them, keep doing it. We need more babies. I want to talk about that on the next stream. Take some calls on it because I believe that. I don't understand why they would break up such a rare thing. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. You will most definitely enjoy my channel and my content. This is the most pro Donald Trump MAGA place you'll find anywhere. The cruise, I don't have the number handy, but it's the end of March, so you can make a reservation now. Maybe, Eric. I don't know. Eric says if they were trains, the cops wouldn't have done anything. Perhaps. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, man. But I mean, it's funny, but it's true. I mean, what I said's true. It's not just a joke. No doubt about it. Yeah, the cat has given up on the lizard hunt. And the lizard's out of sight. I do watch the Y-Files on occasion. Pretty good. That guy in the Y-Files here on YouTube, he puts a lot of work into that channel. I'd love to see a behind the scenes of how long it takes him to put together a video. They're pretty good, for the most part. Yeah, I do watch the Y-Files. Absolutely. Not regularly. I do watch it on occasion. No doubt about it. But I have to wake up. I got a big day today. Long day. I should have slept in a little bit, but I could not. I could not sleep in. My cat allergy. We've got these rescue kittens, and I'm allergic to cats, so my allergies. The fish is a trip. Yeah. You know, the fish on the Y-Files is kind of like Doomcock in that I forgot the guy that he has. Doomcock and the Y-Files kind of have the same thing going on. I can't get rest. I've got to leave in 90 minutes to go to work. I wouldn't be surprised if Doomcock and the Y-Files are the same guy. Because they got that thing they got going on. Yeah, Harvey. That's right, Harvey. Harvey on Doomcock. Isn't it like the Y-Files to you? You ever thought that? I've thought that. Absolutely. I like Doomcock, too. New Mexico for Trump. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to take off because I do have to do some more work before I go to work. And I'll see you now. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And if you're already sub, like the video. And remember, on the next stream, I'll be taking live calls. I'll be in the studio. All right? See you later. Take care. Thanks for watching.